Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Nidhi Taneja. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 12th of July. Indian authorities arrest two key members of Islamic State terror module in southern Hyderabad. Singapore jails 4 Bangladeshi men for financing terrorism. And tourists enjoy picturesque waterfall in Western India. And now for all the details. In its effort to curb terrorism on its soil, Indian authorities have arrested two key members of the Islamic State module in southern Hyderabad city. India's National Investigative Agency or the NIA arrested the chief of Islamic State module and a financer in the city. The accused were tech-savvy and used modern software to secure their email conversation with their handler in Syria. The arrest comes in connection with the ongoing investigation regarding a terror conspiracy case in which 5 were arrested and 7 others were detained last month. According to the agency, the gang was preparing improvised explosive devices for carrying out blasts. The death of a top commander of a banned militant outfit in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province has sparked off violence in the valley. Kashmiri leaders from across the world accuse Pakistan and separatist leaders of reviving militancy in the region.
Prominent human rights activists and Kashmiri leaders have come down heavily on separatist leaders for fanning trouble in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. They have accused separatist leaders of inciting violence following the death of Burhan Wani, a top commander of Hizbul Mujahideen, who was killed in a gun battle with security forces in Kashmir last week. Violence has erupted across Kashmir Valley since the death of Wani, with protesters attacking security personnel and torching several police stations and government vehicles.
All the children of these leaders are tucked away in safe environments, in schools, in Malaysia, in America, in London or in India. And poor people's sons are dying on the streets and they are glorifying them. The Kashmiri youth need to understand and need to ask this question to these leaders. If jihad, if this gun is so pious, why don't you pick it up? Why don't your children pick it up?
United Kashmir People's National Party, which has been highlighting forced disappearances and state repression in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, has pointed fingers at Islamabad for renewed violence in the Indian province of Jammu and Kashmir. Leaders of UK PNP referred to recent statements by Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and others, which they said amounted to direct interference of Islamabad in Jammu and Kashmir.
Pakistan is using religion as weapon, and they are exploiting the religious sentiment of Kashmiri youth. And Burhan was also issuing statements that he is going to attack law enforcement agencies, army, police in Kashmir.
There has been spurt in infiltration of militants in Jammu and Kashmir from across Pakistan in recent days. Separatist leaders in the northern province are also actively trying to mobilize the local youth in the region against security forces.
The mastermind behind the December 2014 massacre at Peshawar's Army Public School, Umar Mansoor, has been killed. Top Pakistani security officials claimed that he died in a US drone strike in Afghanistan. According to reports, another militant leader, Qari Saifullah, along with Mansoor, was also killed in the US drone strike in the Bandar area of Afghanistan's Nangarhar province on Saturday. Both Mansoor and Saifullah belong to militant outfit Tehreek-i-Taliban Pakistan, which claimed responsibility for the horrific attack. Mansoor is also claimed to be behind on the Bacha Khan University in Charsada of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa early this year, where 18 students and faculty members lost their lives. Pakistan government and local administration of Gilgit-Baltistan has made claims about providing best facilities to the people of the region, but the ground reality is quite different. Frustration is mounting among the locals due to the government's incapability to fulfill the basic infrastructure demands of electricity.
People of Gilgit-Baltistan have been victims of electricity crisis for many decades. Unscheduled power outages up to 18 to 20 hours a day are a common feature and have hampered the smooth functioning of small-scale businesses, educational institutions and other government departments. Patients and hospital staff in the region are worst affected due to these unscheduled power cuts. Many scheduled surgeries are forced to be delayed due to no electricity, causing a great deal of inconvenience to the patients.
जो यूनिट्स हैं, कंप्रेसर्स हैं, ये स्पेशली बिजली के बगैर काम नहीं कर सकते हैं। तो जब तक बिजली नहीं होगी तो हम जब तक बिजली ना आए तो हम इंतज़ार करते रहते हैं, जिसकी वजह से मरीज़ों को भी तकलीफ़ होती है। वो इंतज़ार करते करते थक जाते हैं और कभी कभार वो लड़ाई पे उतर आते हैं, लेकिन हमारी मजबूरी होती है क्योंकि बिजली के बगैर आप खुद अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये सारा सिस्टम जो है बिजली पर इन्हिसार करती है इसकी।
The hospital staff has time and again been demanding for government and local administration's assistance to improve the amenities. But their demands have fallen on deaf ears.
ये लोटको का बिजली घर इसको हॉस्पिटल टाइम में मॉर्निंग टाइम में 9 बजे से लेकर 1 बजे तक भी उसको हॉस्पिटल साइड को दे दें तो उसकी पावर काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। इसकी वजह से भी मरीजों के मसाइल काफ़ी हद तक हल हो सकते हैं।
Locals allege mismanagement and corruption on the part of authorities, as funds have been allocated for repairs and maintenance of existing power generators, but nothing has been done so far. Pakistan government made tall claims to fulfill energy needs of Gilgit-Baltistan after it signed several agreements with China. But the region continues to remain in the dark as it was since it was forcibly occupied by Pakistan decades ago.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has demanded the Afghan militants based in Pakistan and those opposing peace talks should be handed over to his government.
Following his return from Warsaw summit in Poland, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said his government wants Pakistan to hand over those militants who are opposing peace and plotting against the country. He added that neighboring countries should respect the sovereignty of Afghanistan and do not allow insurgent groups to operate on the soil. This comes as President Ghani earlier alleged that Pakistan continues to differentiate between good and bad terrorism. The Afghan officials have for long been criticizing Pakistan for allowing Afghan militants, particularly the Afghan Taliban and Haqqani network, to use its soil from where they plan attacks on Afghanistan.
4 Bangladeshi men have been incarcerated in Singapore for financing terrorism. These convicts were among 8 men who were arrested earlier this year for plotting terror attacks to topple democratic government in Bangladesh.
A Singapore court on Tuesday jailed 4 Bangladeshi men for 2 to 5 years for financing terrorism. The 4 were among the 8 Bangladeshi men who were detained in April in Singapore for planning attacks in their home country. Authorities said the men contributed about $45 to $1,000 to fund attacks in their homeland in the name of Islamic State in Bangladesh. Their goal was to topple the government and set up an Islamic State in Bangladesh and bring it under the self-declared caliphate of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. Bangladesh police said they were being investigated for connections to the Ansarullah Bangla team militant group. The Muslim-majority Bangladesh has faced a series of militant attacks in last 1 year, the most serious on July 1st, when gunmen stormed a cafe in the capital, Dhaka, and killed 20 people, most of them foreigners.
Moving on to news from Nepal. The United Communist Party of Nepal Maoist has withdrawn support from the KP Oli Sharma-led government. The Maoist party was reportedly upset with Oli's leadership and made the decision in order to clear the path for the formation of a consensus government.
Nepal's coalition government, headed by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, has been reduced to minority after the main ally, the Maoist party led by Pushpa Kamal Dahal, withdrew its support on Tuesday. Maoist party said that the decision to pull out from the government was taken because Oli's party failed to implement the 9-point agreement reached between the two parties on May 5th.
हाम्रो पार्टी अब यस सरकारमा सहभागी रहिरहन राजनीतिक रूपले उपयुक्त नहुने भएकोले अहिलेदेखि नै वर्तमान एमाले नेतृत्वको सरकारबाट पार्टीको समर्थन फिर्ता लिएका छौं। साथै हाम्रा पार्टीका सबै मन्त्रीहरूलाई मन्त्री परिषदबाट फिर्ता बोलाइएको जानकारी गराउँदछौं।
The rift between Dahal's Unified Communist Party of Nepal Maoist and Oli's Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist has been growing since May, when the Maoists found support in the country's main opposition, Nepali Congress Party. The Maoist party has claimed that it will form the new government under the leadership of Dahal with the backing of Nepali Congress Party.
Waterfalls are one of the most fascinating creations of nature. A heavy spell of monsoon in India's western Maharashtra province has added to the beauty of the waterfall in the Ellora caves of the region.
The Ellora Caves are a World Heritage Site and the most visited ancient monument in India's western Maharashtra province. Heavy rains have lashed the Aurangabad city, leading to overflowing of the waterfall from the caves, giving it a majestic look. Tourists were seen enjoying the visual treat.
पहली बार यहाँ औरंगाबाद में इतना अच्छा वाटरफॉल देखने को मिला है। बहुत वेट कर रही थी इसका मैं। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत ग्रीनरी हो चुकी है यहाँ पे। फैमिली के साथ आई हूँ, पूरा बहुत एंजॉय कर रही हूँ।
Ellora Caves are one of the major tourist attractions in Maharashtra province. The caves represent the best example of Indian rock-cut architecture.
India's northeast province of Nagaland is a land of festivals. The tribal population came together to celebrate the local Tuluni festival with pomp and show presenting rich culture and traditions of the province. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Indian authorities arrest 2 key members of Islamic State terror module in southern Hyderabad. Singapore jails 4 Bangladeshi men for financing terrorism. And tourists enjoy picturesque waterfall in Western India. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.